Ruben Amorim era kicks off with a draw against Ipswich. Marcus Rashford opens the scoring in less than 90 seconds, followed by an Omari Hutchinson, I would say screamer, but it did take a deflection. Manchester United walk away with a point, and Ruben Amorim has a big task at hand to get something better out of these players. As always, his 5 things we learned in about 5 minutes. Let's go. I'm going to start with number 1, which is of course Manchester United out of possession. The biggest thing that I identified is the midfield. The intensity required to play in the midfield of this Ruben Amorim system potentially was not on show throughout the game. Now I understand Ruben Amorim did share his selection with us and why he chose to start with these players in terms of Casemiro and Eriksen, and it was just regarding the number of players that he had available at the beginning of his training sessions earlier in the week. I expect some time to go on and Kobbie Mainoo to be integrated and Manuel Ugarte, but the biggest kind of telling sign for me in that midfield, and particularly in the half spaces for the opponent on the left hand side of Manchester United's defensive line, was that Jonny Evans, Eriksen was not working. Now, the screenshot here, you will see Jonny Evans is playing tight to Omari Hutchinson. This was happening quite a lot throughout the game. As a result, Jonny Evans cannot keep up with Hutchinson throughout the game. Whether it's the lack of mobility, the lack of speed, his agility, he just could not keep up with him. And in this screenshot here, you see the centre-backs just sitting off Hutchinson, allowing him to take a shot. Now, there was multiple moments throughout the game where I identified this particular pattern, where the half space for the opponent on the left-hand side of Manchester United's backline was always being able to be utilised. And one reason I genuinely think is because the 2 centre-backs on each side of Matthias de Ligt, Mazraoui and Jonny Evans, they were playing tight to the 10s for Ipswich. Hutchinson and Evans was a mismatch. On the other side, Mazraoui was able to hold his own. Additionally, now I don't know if you lot noticed, but a lot of the time when Diallo, who was causing some problems for Manchester United's backline, when he was dropping deep, Matthias de Ligt was following him, which as a result, the centre-backs on the right and the left had to come in a bit more centrally. Now, usually I would expect one of the DMs to drop into that role, but that was not happening. So it's some very key things that I noticed just in 45-60 minutes or so of Amorim ball. Like I said, Ruben Amorim does have a big task at hand to get something better out of these players. And number 2, decision making. That's why I say Ruben Amorim has a big task at hand, because the decision making today was not at its best. I counted multiple different moments where players made the wrong decision. I can see what Amorim is trying to get out of these players, and one thing I noticed, that they weren't going long as much as we used to. However, the decision making was just not there today. Rasmus Højlund comes on as a number 9. You want your number 9 to get at goal. There was moments where he was drifting wide and trying to put the ball into the box, and lo and behold, there's no one there to get on the end of it. Now, of course, you're the number 9. You're meant to be in the box to get on the end of it, but instead you're the one that's putting the delivery in. There was another moment where he gets past his player and cuts in onto his preferred left foot and tries to find the pass. And last but not least, the free kick that Bruno had, it came from Rasmus Højlund back to goal, laying off a pass for Bruno instead of maybe taking it on the turn and going into the box. Now again, like I said, this is just some small decisions that I noticed that players were making, and Ruben Amorim is going to have to get this out of the players. Another player that I noticed it with as well was Garnacho. There was about 3 instances, probably even more, when Manchester United had the opportunity to counter with Garnacho, and the decision that he tries to take is try to force the contact to get the free kick. Lo and behold, he doesn't get it, and Manchester United lose possession. There was one particular moment in the first half where Marcus Rashford was making a great run. Garnacho didn't see it, tried to force the contact, didn't get the free kick, and the game went the other way with Ipswich in possession. Ruben Amorim, you need to get this out of the players. Number 3, Andre Onana. In what was, I would say, a very boring second half and some moments that required big saves from the goalkeeper, Andre Onana definitely kept Man United in the game. It wasn't the best of performances in 90 minutes, and I think Ruben Amorim's reaction after the game kind of said it all. You know, in the last couple of seconds, last 5-10 seconds, Ahmad and Mazraoui are passing it around in Man United's half, and you could see him on the touchline telling them to get forward. Now, if it wasn't for Onana, I do think the result could have been different. He made some huge saves, including that one particular one, you don't know what I'm talking about, in the first half before they actually equalised. So kudos to Onana for doing that. Similar to the Erik ten Hag era, he kept us in a lot of games. Equally today, he kept Man United in this game against Ipswich. And that takes me to my 4th point. Ahmad is Manchester United's best forward. It's as simple as that. Playing as a right wing back, coming into the game, I kind of understood the logic. I understood the logic of having him hold the width, his ability to get up and down the line, his ability to come in central if needed, to operate in the middle or the half spaces. However, I really do think Amad Diallo needs to be playing further up the pitch. Last but not least, Ruben Amorim is not going to work a miracle, guys. Be patient. Some things we did identify today is the patterns of play. You see the 3-4-3 in build up. You see the 5-2-3 in defensive transition. You see the wing backs getting involved. I don't think Diogo Dalot had the best of games, but I do think Mazraoui had a very good game. And let me know what you lot thought. Ruben Amorim's first game in charge as Manchester United head coach, and he gets a point away to Ipswich. Manchester United now look ahead to Ruben Amorim's first game at Old Trafford in the Premier League, which is against Everton next weekend. Be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe, and like I said, guys, let me know down below what you thought of the game and if you agree or disagree with anything I said.